Drake sucks again. Um, so Drake filed a motion to compel in his case against UMG. Please remember, hi Frank. Please remember, I very much have bias in this case, both personally as a Kendrick fan and also legally. I think this case is fucking ridiculous. He filed a motion to compel. It's thundering, and he usually doesn't care, but he's being a little clingy boy. He filed a motion to compel for a bunch of discovery that he asked for, and so we're getting to see the discovery, and some of it is cuckoo bananas. Remember the posture of the case, which is UMG. There was oral argument on UMG's motion to dismiss at the end of June. Motion to dismiss because this whole case violates the First Amendment, with which I completely agree, that nobody took the lyrics to Not Like Us as fact. Sorry, I've got hair on the phone. And you shouldn't be allowed to sue for defamation over song lyrics, with which I totally agree, especially rap battle lyrics. But what's happening is, while they're waiting for the judge to rule, Drake is trying to get in all the discovery that he possibly can in case the case goes away. And which I think there's a decent chance of that happening. And I think many people said from the beginning, and I agree, that really the only thing that they probably wanted out of this whole lawsuit was to get a hold of Kendrick's contract. And that is included in this too. But what appears to be upsetting everybody today is these two requests, 50 and 51, which are asking for, remember, they're asking this of UMG. UMG, any documents they have related to allegations of violence by K-Dot. And then 51, how delicately put, Dave Free and his relationship with Kendrick's children. Now, this was not in the motion to compel. They're not trying to compel this, which means that either UMG turned it over or UMG just responded to these and said none. That is my guess, is that these document requests, their responses was just, we don't have any such documents, because they're not moving to compel that information. But now we can see that they asked for it. And I've been thinking all evening, how could this possibly be relevant to Drake's case? Because these, of course, are allegations from Drake's songs. So how does this relate to Not Like Us? And I'm having a lot of trouble figuring out the relevance of that. This is a part of the motion to compel that I found interesting, where UMG is asking for, this is not even Drake's contract, this is other contracts, including like what rights UMG has to censor music. And they claim it goes to this issue of rap lyrics can't be facts, and what UMG's prior conduct is, and all of that stuff, and how UMG censors artists' expression. I don't know, it seems like kind of a reach to me. But again, they're trying to get this stuff in case the judge, there's probably like I'd say like an 80% chance this case is going to get dismissed. And so they're trying to get as much as they can get before that happens. This one I just find embarrassing. Somebody had to write this. Probably this Brady Sullivan person at the end had to write all documents and communications with Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, and then he had to put the song lyrics in it, including the meaning or the intent of, say, Drake, I hear you like I'm young, you better not. Like, this request is exactly why this case should be barred by the First Amendment. The answer to this should be none of your fucking business, it's art. It's just, I find the whole thing embarrassing. And then as for the contract, which, you know, I think is what they really want, they talked about how they gave him a copy of the contract. It's 22 pages and most of it is redacted. Yeah. And then, you know, Gottlieb goes into this whole, like, we have an AEO. They got another AEO. That must be their thing. They got an AEO. And it's like, if I were UMG, I would probably be willing to risk being held in contempt of court for not complying with the request for production, because I wouldn't trust that AEO in the hands of Drake's lawyer. No, that's their whole business. No way. I'd be like, throw me in jail for the night. I'm not giving it. If I were UMG and those were my options, provide it and risk it. Not only, I mean, I know it says AEO, but it could somehow accidentally get out there, which would not only hurt UMG, it would hurt Kendrick and potentially other artists, versus being held in contempt of court and like paying a fine or something. I take the fine. So this is a waiting game for UMG. You know, how long can we wait? And it's probably to some degree a tactic by Drake and Gottlieb to file this motion to push the judge to go ahead and rule on the motion to dismiss. She also could split the baby. She could say yes and dismiss the defamation claim because that is protected by the First Amendment, but let the like payola claim or whatever that is keep going. But, you know, if this kind of case were allowed to go forward, this really violates free speech to me, and it opens the door for an absolute shit ton of litigation against artists that should not be there. So I am both personally, as a KDOT stan and as a lawyer who is an almost First Amendment absolutist, think this case needs to go away.